Have fun, guys. I'm going to invite Sarah, Simon, and Melissa to come on up. We got chairs for you. We are going to dive into what happened on our missions trip. If you could hang on to that, and you can hang on to that. You guys are going to share those mics as I grill you on stuff. Isn't that exciting? Yes. So, did you have a good time? No. Get the microphones on, please, sir. Kind sir. Okay, so did you have a good time?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we're done. All right, let's, if I could have the power of the computer. There we go. Mexico. We went to Mexico with the Puerto Ricans. Get back up. Get back up here. Oh, he is so my wife's kid. Oh, okay. All right, so we joined Puerto Rico, and then we flew down to Guadalajara. I'm going to give you a quick picture once again of our map that we started with. We flew into Guadalajara, Mexico. That was fun. And then we drove the next day to that place. However you pronounce that. And then we ended up driving all the way back to El Limon, way over here. That was an 8-hour drive. It was long. And then we drove back, and that was a 5-hour drive. An hour of it was congested traffic in Guadalajara. Like it was really bad. It was heavy traffic. So that was fun. I'm going to show 3 clips right now of 2 boys from Puerto Rico, and Javier is going to share a short update of what they experienced down there, so you're going to hear their lens, and then we're going to have our team talk about their lens and what they saw and enjoyed. So if I can have the volume high for the computer, because one of them is harder to hear. So this first one is Savvy. He's a Javier's.
What can I say about my trip to Mexico? It was really an amazing experience. I would never change it for anything in the world. Just to see the different culture and everything and different foods. So it was really life-changing to see the kids in the village and everything. And it was just so amazing for me to see how God moved through us towards them and towards us through them also. It was really, I'm not sure how to say it. It really impacted me, to see their struggles and how they're going through life and everything. But it was really amazing to see how amazing they are, how they go through these circumstances and struggles and just keep moving forward. They don't give up, they don't lose hope about it. And it was really awesome. It was really great and such an amazing experience with them. And I would never ever change it at all. I really want to go back. I really want to go back to Mexico. It's really amazing, and it was just full of God. It was just so full of His love, and that really impacted me. I really enjoyed being with Geraldo and his family, and with Enrique and my dad and everyone from Canada, Simon, Melissa, Sarah, Mike. It was really fun. It was really fun and a great experience. So I want to thank them for having us on the trip, and thank everyone who made it possible, but most of all, thanking God, because He's the only one who makes all things possible. And without Him, we could have never gone, no matter what we've done. And yeah, it was just amazing. It really was. And amazing. It was just great. It was a great experience. So, yeah.
And next we're going to meet Enrique. Did I say it right? Yes, I said it right. Man, I kept messing up his name. Enrique, if you're watching live, I am saying it right. Finally. Ugh. All right, here we go. Enrique, you got to listen carefully.
Oh man, this trip was awesome. I loved it so much, every second of it. Well, except for the part when me and Sally got sick. But besides that, it was pretty good. I loved being with all of you guys, Melissa, Simon, and Sarah. You guys are awesome. Oh, and by the way, I hope you get better, Sarah. The best part was seeing the kids so happy when we brought them gifts and stuff. Because us showing them that we care about them when maybe they think nobody really cares about them in the world and stuff, I think that's so good because it will mean so much for them for like the years to come. And thank you so much, Mike, Geraldo, Javier, for this amazing trip. I hope I can go again. I hope we go again really, really, really soon. Thank you guys so much. The trip was so fun. Going to the beach, seeing the mariachis for the first time, seeing Sarah almost get eaten by a crocodile. That was pretty funny too. Going to all those hotels and the long, 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 long drives. I loved all of it. You guys were awesome. The You Are Mine book really spoke to me, even though I've read it like a billions of times when I was a kid. Reading it now to children with like a new mindset, that was so nice because like it reminded me that I am his, I am God's, and that was nice. I think God wanted me to hear that again, I guess.
Cool. Next, Javier, our Puerto Rican leader.
Hi, my name is Javier Ramon from Puerto Rico. I'm very happy to have the opportunity of addressing you this morning and sharing with you some of the things that we did during this past week. Actually, first of all, I want to thank Mike for giving me the opportunity to be with him and with Gerardo and all the Canadian team with Melissa, Sarah, and Simon. It was an awesome experience. The best part for me during this trip was to know you and spend time with you guys. And the same for my son and Enrique, one of my students here in Puerto Rico. To spend time with you and being with you, to know you and see the love of God, seeing how you experience God and in so many different ways. It was wonderful, and even in the little things that you cannot imagine, like eating or making jokes. It was tremendous to me. It was precious, and that was the best part for me this whole week, and have the opportunity to go to El Limon, to this little village, and to see the kids there and to see the need firsthand. That village captivated my heart. Definitely, I'm going back in the future, Lord willing, because the people there they are awesome. They are wonderful. They are so kind and humble, and they received us and treated us with such kindness and love, even though they didn't know us. It was wonderful to be with the kids. That was the best. I have a school here in Puerto Rico, and I loved being with kids and being there with those kids, and they were so happy, even though they don't have the things that we might have here in terms of facilities and things that sometimes we take for granted. And in spite of all of that, they are so happy and they enjoy life so much. And that touched my heart and made me rethink about all the things that we have. And thank God for this opportunity. I really want to go back again. I want to thank Mike for this opportunity. My brother, I love you. Thank you so much for everything. At one point in time, I thought that I was not going to be able to go there, but your encouragement, your help, your your friendship encouraged me, and I want to thank you so much for that. I want to thank Gerardo because he treated me as he has known me forever, and he's a real brother and a real friend. And I would thank him so much for this opportunity. I love you guys, and I'm looking forward for the next one.
That's awesome. I'm going to, we're going to call Gerardo, or Gerardo's going to call in a few minutes, but I'm going to ask these guys same kind of questions. What did you enjoy about the trip? What are some highlights? Give your own summary in your own way. So Simon, you want to go first and kind of give us what do you think? What was your take on the trip on the front end? Just the big picture.
It was good.
Work with me. Work with me.
Yeah, it was really fun. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about God during that, and I really grew that way. We went on a lot of fun trips and stuff, but it was a really long, hard drive. But it was worth it. What I was learning a lot is actually how close I am to everyone and how close I am to God. And when I went to Mexico, I saw these Mexicans. I'm like, oh, I'm very different from them. Look at me and look at them. And then it wasn't until it was our second church service where they were all singing and worshiping, and I was looking around the room because I couldn't sing it because it was all in Spanish. So I was looking around the room and I was realizing, wow, these people are a lot more like me than I thought they were. Like, we're not much different. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. And it was even like really little things, like Javier keeps calling everyone my brother, and so does Gerardo. And at first I'm just like, oh, that's just a funny way of saying, hey man. But then as the week went on, as he kept calling me brother, it felt more and more real. And it came to the point where at the final school where I gave a little testimony, God spoke to me, and I really felt that I needed to say to these kids that I love them. And that's what I really felt that I needed to do. And the kids were really great. Food was delicious. It was good food. I like Mexican food.
You tried a lot of new
try
stuff.
a lot of stuff. Tacos are good.
Cool. We'll come back to you in a bit. Okay, Sarah.
I really liked the trip as well. I was surprised about how many things I liked, including the food.
Onions. You had onions and you liked them. That's weird.
Yeah, I tried a lot of food as well. So that was cool. I think it was really cool hearing everyone's stories, like all their testimonies, and at the end of the trip hearing Gerardo's story, because it made me see how God affects everyone. Like, you just think in your own life God is working through you, and you don't see how everyone goes through the same thing and everyone has God working through them. And it was cool because Gerardo I think it was the second last day at dinner time, he made like everyone cry with a speech he made saying how even us being there made everyone so happy, and like he could see God through everyone on the trip. It was really cool that way.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, hand the mic over to Melissa.
Well, first of all, I want to thank those who made it possible for me to go on this trip. Thank Mike, that took such great care of all of us. And I would like to point Gloria's testimony. Gloria is Gerardo's wife, and her testimony really impacted me because she was a child who lived in the village we went to, El Limon. And she wanted to know more of Jesus because some missionaries went to the village when she was a child. And then it made me think, well, we're doing this now, and maybe in the future we'll see lots of Glorias sharing their testimony. And it really impacted me. And Javier, Gerardo, and Mike, when they were talking about grace, about God, it really talked to me as well. They might not know that, but I was listening. And and seeing Jesus through their lives and seeing Jesus through the lives of these guys as well. It was, well, there's no words to say that. And also something that Simon said, when you look to the Mexicans, you think, oh, they're so different cultures, but at the end of the day, they're like us. And I could really see Jesus in their lives because they shared their testimonies as well. So it really impacted me a lot. And singing with Sergio, like Gerardo said, I am a Brazilian who lives in Canada, was singing in Spanish with a Mexican guy playing keyboard. And that was really fun and special. Singing with the kids as well was very special. And seeing the teachers' faces when we gave them the school supplies, their faces were filled with happiness and joy, and that was really special for me.
Cool. What part of the village did you guys like the most? What impacted you when we got to the village? Because we got to see 3 different schools. What was your take on that? Just share the mics around, whoever wants to talk.
Well, there's a lot of dogs everywhere, and
That's true.
they're really cute.
Don't pet the dogs.
Don't pet the dogs. Probably one of my favorite parts was going to the kindergarten school. It was happy and sad because happy because all the kids were awesome and cute and fun, but sad because of the realization of what they actually had and what they didn't have, with the lack of water and the lack of safety they had. Before they had giant snakes coming up right up to their playground, and it was super dangerous. So they just kind of put up a little fence there.
Yeah, I wondered, how does that keep them out?
Yeah, they could probably just go right through. So
I don't know.
it's very dangerous, but the kids were super happy and having so much fun, so they didn't notice.
I think it was cool because we got to see what the last missions trip, what they did, and it was cool seeing how they used all that stuff. I don't know. I liked seeing the junior high school. I think it was.
It was the first one.
Yeah. Okay. I think it was cool because.
You liked something really. You liked really something at the kindergarten school. There's something pretty cool over there. All the kids swarming.
Yeah, it was really cute. All the little kids just ran up straight to us and just started asking so many questions. Of course, Melissa is the only one who could answer them. But it was so cute. They all just swarmed around us and just asking us questions.
I was going to say the kindergarten as well. The kids were all dressed up in white
I'll show you pictures later.
uniforms. That was really cool and funny because they were all dirty, but the uniforms were white. And they were so cute. And when we went there, the mothers went there as well to see us and to thank us for all of the work we have been doing. We got to see the nets and the chairs. And yeah, it was a great time. The kindergarten for me was a really highlight. The
Cool.
kids were so happy for everything we have been doing with them.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to message Gerardo and get him to call us on Skype. You guys can stay here. Chris, if you can figure it out when he calls in, hit the video accept and then drag Skype over to the screen and we'll kill these lights so we can see Gerardo. We're going to interview him and see how he's doing. So I'm going to say, call me. All right. Let's see if this works. All right. He's out of bed. He's in the car waiting. Yeah. Yeah, we talked to him this morning. He was in bed. Are you in bed, brother? Yes, brother. That's him calling in. There we go. Okay. Hey.
Hello, my brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Good. We can see you. You can see the cameras at the back of the church showing the front. So I wish we were facing you. So tell us about the trip. How'd it go? What's your take? Did we drive you nuts?
No, Mike, I had a very good time. I really enjoyed the trip and everything that went around. And I just want to share some words with the church, with you guys, and people that are watching on live stream on Facebook. As I was saying to most of you, when I was listening to Melissa singing, and when I was listening to the sincere heart of Sarah, listening to the authentic heart of Simon, and to the spontaneous laughter of Enrique, and listening to Sabi speaking from his heart, listening the testimonies of Javier, and listening about, when you were preaching, I was seeing God express His love through all of you to the people we were visiting, in this case, the village and the Grace Walk churches in those different states. After I finished talking to the pastors, I could hear the hearts and the leaders of the Grace Walk churches, in this case first, that they were very encouraged. They had a passion to find out about God's unconditional love from other countries. So the visit was not only, or I should say, blessing was not only for the village, but for the pastors and the members of all of the churches. People were crying. People had a joyful face. People had a happiness in their face in the churches and in the village, as Christ was expressing His life through the Canadian team and through the Puerto Rican team. Talking to some of them, there were even tears, knowing that there is more people around in other countries that are speaking the same language, and that they have a family in other countries, as you said it, and Javier Ramon also said it. But the impact on the lives of these persons were that big that they have been encouraged right now. In fact, they were calling me yesterday and asking me, when are you guys coming back? And I said to them, we do not know, but hopefully in the months ahead, we will have Mike and the Canadians and maybe Puerto Rico and some other countries coming to Mexico. So Mike, with all of my heart, I want to thank Melissa. I want to thank Sarah. I want to thank Simon, who was juggling and expressing from the bottom of his heart his testimony. Enrique, Sabi, Javier, for coming and share your time, your money, leaving your own country, leaving your own meals and food, since you got, some of them got sick over here, and just to come and share God's unconditional love to the Latin people, in this case in Grace Walk, Mexico. And I want to thank Hope Fellowship Church for supporting, and the supporters, of course, and for the prayers. I want to thank Lori, Noah, Avery, your family, Mike, for making it all of this possible. Humanly speaking, we couldn't make it without you guys. I know it's Christ through all of you, but it was an expression of love having you guys over here. Mike, I wanna thank you. There is no words, my brother, to describe the foundation that Christ left through you in the pastors, in the leaders, and in the village of all of those people. We do not know what is going to happen in the village. As you know, we don't have a pastor over there. But surely we should know in the days ahead that God has reminded them how much they have been loved by God through all of you. So once again, I want to thank all of you for making it possible. And it was not only an encouragement for the pastors and leaders in the village, but it was also an encouragement, Sarah, Simon, Melissa, Mike, Stavi, Enrique, and Javier. It was an encouragement also for me. It was an encouragement for my life, for my wife, my kids, my family, and ministry, because I know also that I have a family in that great country called Canada and Puerto Rico. You know that I love you, Mike, with all of my heart. And thank you for sharing your time also, your money, for making all this possible to the Grace Walk Latin America people. On behalf of the village, on behalf of Mexico, and the pastors and leaders of the Grace Walk Church we visited, I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank all of you. The foundation that Christ has left through all of you has had a great impact in the lives of the persons that you met. So once again, I want to leave you with this word. Please come back and continue to talk to these people that they really need it. And I hopefully to see more people coming to share God's additional love for Grace Walk Mexico. It was a great have you all, and I hope to see you soon in the days ahead, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
Send a big thank to all of you, to the church, again to the supporters, and thank you very much for giving me the time to talk to all of you. I wish I could be there with you physically, so you can see my heart. I don't want to cry right now, but I just want to say once again, thank you for coming and sharing all this with my people, and of course the people of God. Love you all, Hope Fellowship Church. Send you a big hug from Mexico, from my family and my kids.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gerardo. And thanks for keeping us all safe. It was good. Don't do that. Yikes. Buddy, I'm going to sign you off. Thank you so much for calling in and saying hello to us and sharing the heart of Mexico and what you saw. Love you, man. See ya.
Love you, man. See you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Chris, can you X that out? All right. Oh, man. That was... All right. The crew up front here. Anything else you want to add to what you experienced? Something that was fun? What was some of the fun stuff? Keep it short, but what were some of the smiles, the things that created a smile for you? Anything off the cuff?
I saw the ocean for the first time.
That's right.
That was really cool.
I have a picture.
Yeah, me and Simon got a frolic through the ocean, like in
Okay.
the sand. That was fun.
Sure. What else?
Mountains are cool.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't see mountains before, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, and we went to a show to watch some live Mexican dance in groups, the mariachi. It was amazing. That was a really highlight for me.
Cool. And I'm going to ask you guys a God question. What's the thing that you're taking away of what did you learn about God this past week that you didn't realize, or something that was strengthened during your trip? What is, if you can put it into words? You don't have to, but whoever wants to try and answer that.
Well, like I said, they shared their testimonies as well. And I could see that God is working in their lives. And they shared some specific events and situations that happened with them. And I could see that God's working with me as well. And we went there. It's so cliche to say, but we went there to bless them, but we left so much more blessed than we expected.
That's cool. You don't have to if you don't want to. 1, 2.
Well, yeah, I did feel. I felt more I felt more connected with God as He spoke through me a lot, and I've never really felt that before. It just kind of flowed.
Kinda
well.
happened.
Yeah, it just happened when I was talking and doing my juggling shows, and
I was proud.
yeah, and doing my testimonies and stuff. It felt a lot more natural and flowed when I kind of felt more connected.
Yep.
It was cool because I could see the effect that God had on everyone. And by the time we were at the village, it was cool because you could kind of feel God through you. and like seeing all the children's smiles as we were like giving them the gift, like the bags with all the school supplies, like seeing their smiles, it was like God was doing this nice gesture through us and through the whole team and all the teachers. I just thought that was really cool.
It was interesting that when they did their testimonies, they did it a couple times each. The very first time it's from a script. And then it kind of got looser, and then no notes. Like, that's a big progression. It was really, really cool to see that. In fact, I remember Sarah said that Michael Gordon had spoken to her in one of the services here, and that she was going to be, he kind of said, you're going to minister to a kid or something's going to happen, and that kid's going to be impacted. Guess what I discovered? She was the kid. She was impacted. You know, a child of God. And that's what I saw. It was really quite amazing. So thanks, guys. Any last words? Because I'm gonna run through the pictures, and unless you want to stay up here through the pictures and then chime in as you see some of the stuff going on, you can say, hey, what about that one? And maybe that might be fun. You guys want to do that? Okay, cool. So if I could have Russ zoom in on the screen, because that's what we're going to be focusing on the pictures. I want everybody to see the pictures. And then you can turn the house lights off as well. I don't know if it'll videotape. Tell me how clear the picture is. Not good? Can it work? It does work? Okay, good. All right, let me rip through the trip. Day one, we got onto an airplane. Another first for this guy. Never been on a plane before. So that was fun. Fun was a big word. And you may think, oh, we just sent them to go have fun. Well, that's called enjoying the entire experience. And it wasn't so much about us doing things for somebody else. It was experiencing humans in a culture different than ours and interacting with them and each other. It was a full experience. It was really good. Then on this is the Puerto Ricans on the airplane coming to Mexico. Isn't that wonderful? And then Simon saw his first sunrise above the clouds, and that was a really, really powerful moment. He's looking out the window and goes, "What?" Looking outside, "Really? Are you kidding me? What?" It was so much fun. I said, "Oh, this is so cool." So anyway, there we go. And then he had to do this on the airplane because he had to jump 30,000 feet in the air. Just had to do it. So, and then we got to the hotel, and I did not know the hotel we were going to, but that was, outside was super busy, kind of dirty, and, not a nice place. But then inside this hotel, that's what it looked like. It was an oasis. Did not see that coming. But that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that, and it was good connecting time. Now, here's another cool part of the story. On that day, when we checked into that hotel, this woman comes in about 2 minutes after we are at the counter there, and it's like, "What are you doing here?" We couldn't believe that we met her. She was the hostess for the restaurant at the hotel we stayed in Puerto Vallarta in January. Okay, we've seen her for 10 years. She's the life of that restaurant. She's a wonderful host. But she was coming here to spend time with her daughter, who had surgery on moving a cyst or something on her ovary. She was I think 14-year-old girl, something like that. And so I actually ended up praying for her daughter right there. And her daughter had faith already. So it used to be just a hostess conversation. Now it became a spiritual conversation. And what are the chances of all of Mexico, you bump into them right there? Like, really? Really, really? Not a chance. So that was a God incident. Pretty cool. Day 2. Thanks, Jen. She sends us this. Crank it up for this next part. Yeah, and I give a response. Here's one of my responses. All right, Jen. Thanks for your snow video. This is kind of the opposite. Say hi, Sarah. Yeah. Beautiful sun. With the pool. Guys, say hello to Jen, who sent us the snow picture. Say hi to Jen. She sent the snow picture. There you go. That's it. We're just rubbing it in. See ya. So this is time to start driving. So we're getting our photo outside the vehicle, just getting ready for that. Then at the first church, by the way, we drove to Sergio's church. It was like a 4 or 5 hour drive. Sergio, Megan remembers Sergio. They were so encouraged. Like, yes, it was a long, long drive. The worst part was the next day we had to drive 8 hours. But it was seeing their hearts and their faces, being encouraged by Canadians coming, Puerto Ricans coming, just to be with them. Who does that? Love does that. And that's what they experienced. So it wasn't so much us doing something for them, it was just the whole experience of being together. A lot of worship. It was really quite neat. That's the pastor, and that's the pastor's son. His wife's back there and daughter. They're super encouraged. His name, remember his name? Humberto. I have trouble with Mexican names. So anyway, that's all right. Really good guy, good heart. We got to hear his story too. It was quite powerful. Then Melissa, of course, shared a couple songs each service. I'm not going to show pictures of every single service of everything we did, because you might as well just do it once and you kind of get the picture. Then we did a story. All four of them did the story. He handed the picture to him, and he put them on the table. He's translating into Spanish. She's doing the English. She did a really good job. They got better and better as they did it. It was quite a neat story, reminding them that they are special. Then Savvy gives his testimony. It was really good. Long, but good. It was how many? It was 12 minutes long. We told him 3 or 4, right? But yeah, anyway, it was fun. Great guy. Great story. I tried to record it, but my camera flipped out on me. Then Javier shared his story as well. Each person shared the story of what God had been impacting in their lives. Sarah giving her testimony, again, script for the first one, right? It was really, really good, right from the heart. And then, of course, I did some teaching, which was a lot of fun. Then we ate. And I think this was the best meal that everybody liked. This is the tacos. These are real tacos. It was so good, and nobody complained. I don't know. You don't question it, you just eat it. That wasn't chicken. No, I'm kidding. This is a picture, a group photo of everybody. This is Gerardo's wife and daughter and son, and then the crew. So that was a great group. Day 3, the van ride. Ooh, this is the long, I think, was this the 8-hour one? I think it's the start of the 8-hour. So these guys are all squished back there. Mind you, this is without the luggage. Obviously, this is in between one of our trips. But then we shoved the luggage in. So, yeah, this is after we went out and bought a whole bunch of school supplies. Javier brought money from Puerto Rico to buy supplies. I had brought extra money because we raised more than we needed, and now we were able to buy school supplies for the teachers and for the kids. This was huge. So I pretty well tried to match what Javier prepared to do, and it went a long way. Got large sheets of paper, had to roll it over. We got pencils, and I'll show you pictures later. But there we go. And then, of course, the famous Papa John's, right? This is where we went, Megan. So we had a good time there. It took a long time for them to make our pizza, but it was really, really good. And then, of course, we're real enthused. So it's full van, like it's crammed. And then we saw weird stuff along the road, and people selling, you name it, even mops, like a mop cart. Really? You don't see that anywhere. And then cool cars, only in Mexico can you drive around like that. It's pretty fun. We didn't even capture half the photos that we saw. Again, another group shot, ready to do their story. This is at Sergio's church on the Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning. That? Okay, quit correcting me. All right, so this is at Sergio's church, and there's his wife leading worship. We're all there, sitting there having a good time, trying to take in the Spanish. There's Sergio playing the keys. He's a very good keyboard player. That was amazing. Then he shares a bit of his story, which really helped the team see and hear where they're coming from. And I like what Simon said. You think us versus them. We're different. But the more time you spend with them, you realize we are the same. We all bleed red, and emotionally we go through stuff, and we're more connected than we ever thought. Then they shared the story there. That was cool. And Simon shared his testimony from the book, and then later on it became more from the hip. And then Enrique shared his testimony. Great job there. And Melissa shared her testimony. I shared the gospel in chairs. Remember that one message I did and shared the comparison of the two gospels? They loved it. It's like, I'd never heard it so simple before. And I went, really? Like, it was really amazing to think something that I already see so simply was new to them and really impacted them. It was mind-blowing. And then, of course, to end the day with cheesecake in bed. He just had to have cheesecake in bed. And he said it was really good. So that was that night. The next day, we went back to Sergio's church for a morning service. And there was an orange tree in the church. In the church. It was pretty cool. And then, of course, everybody was amazed with all the manicured trees. They keep thinking it's, anyway, I thought it was cool. They're making fun of me. Then they shared the story again, which is great. More singing, trying to keep the beat. And then Simon doing his juggling thing, which is cool. If you remember that part of the show, hey, I'll put a third ball in. And that was fun. And then Sarah sharing her testimony. Great job again. More teaching was fun, and then here comes the long ride. This is the 8-hour trip. This was a really hard for these guys in the back of the van. We had to get out a couple times just to stretch our legs and take breaks, and so that was one of the views. This is nothing. You can't even see what's there. It was a stunning mountain view with an amazing valley, and somehow the mountains were a bit foggy-ish, and so the sun hitting it made it even more brilliant. It was really quite neat. Something like that. You can kind of sort of get a picture of what it was like. It was beautiful.
And then finally
Guys, we're not going to be here long, okay?
We're just getting candy.
Candy?
Hello! Now I'm recording.
Yeah. Hey.
Hello!
Yeah, we used the marker.
Okay. That was the van. And then we arrived at this hotel. This is somebody did a panoramic picture, which is cool. It's not really round. It's just the panoramic of the photo. But you have to drive inside into an inner court, and that's where you park your car. And I remember last time I went, every spot was full. There was cars lined up here and here and here and here. And whoever got in last had to be the first up because you have to get out. It was crazy. Colin, you remember that? Yeah. Like it was really a quaint hotel. It wasn't like fancy nice, but it was authentic Mexican. It was clean. I loved it. It was a really neat place. This is the town of Santiago, which is just outside the village of El Limon, probably about 20 minutes away. But it was the only place we can get a safe hotel. It was quite amazing. So the next morning, we went to El Limon. And so we did, there's our group shot. It's going to become the standard traditional shot we got to do with the crew that goes. We had Canada shirts from Old Navy because we couldn't get our other ones done on time. But it was fun. Then we went to visit all three schools and kind of get a picture of what's going on there. The first school was the junior high school. We saw and looked at the stuff that was done the first time we went 2 years ago. We gave the principal there some balls for the school. Our purpose was to help the other schools that hadn't had help, but it was really good to interact with them and see how things were going. This is their library. Seriously? That's the library. So I think Javier just about lost it there. He goes, "Are you kidding? That's not a library. It's a closet." But that's how much help they need. It's tough. Inside one of the classrooms, they upgraded their chairs, which is really nice because the last time we were there, they had these steel chairs that were broken. They had to be welded, and so quite a big change. They're feeling good about themselves, and they're trying to upgrade in their own way, which is fun. Then a group shot in front of that school. Then we walked over to the kindergarten school. We had no intention, we didn't know what was going on with the kindergarten school, but it was right beside it. So there's outside, and we met the kids. There's a classroom shot. The parents were all on the outside there. This is out in the courtyard. And by the way, that's the fence that was built to keep the snakes away and that concrete wall. Apparently the concrete wall is supposed to keep them away. But that is, anyway. Just nuts. It was really quite a powerful time. Cute kids. They were great. There's the parents. All the moms came in to say hello, which didn't happen the first time. This was neat. We saw far more parents interacting with us this time, which I was so glad for because it's about the whole village. Again, shot with the kids. They got to have the cute pictures. Yep. And then, here's what we found out. We found out that this pail of water, that's what they were washing with. And it was gross. Yes, some water was coming up from a well, but it was dirty water. Their tank had filled with dirt and stuff and it needs to be replaced. Their plumbing had been stopped. The plumber cut this off, so only one sink could sort of work, and even that sink had dirty water coming out of it. This is the kindergarten class, the kindergarten school. Those taps weren't working all. They were totally jammed, like as in you couldn't turn them. It was terrible. We found out by the time before we left the village, we found out how much it would cost to replace the plumbing, put a new drilling of a well hole there, a small one, down to the clean water, because there's a couple levels of water. If you go down to the one level, it's going to be kind of grayish, not clean, which is what they were using. And if you go down far enough, you get to clean water. Because of you guys, we were able to pull and fund the entire project. We left the money there. We left it with Gerardo's niece. She's going to supervise and send us pictures when everything is done. So new taps are going in, fix the plumbing, get clean water. Water somehow hit me every time I've been to these schools. Like, that's why most people are sick, is water. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes with another picture I'll show you. But that was a really cool thing. So thank you for giving more and above and beyond. We left it all there. Like, it's really helping them in a very, very big way. But we didn't even expect that. That was kind of cool. Then we went to the elementary school. This is the one that the project was for, to help them. They repainted all that. It's all painted there. That's the outside of the school. This is the statue before they painted. This is him after. I still think they should put his name on there. I don't know who he is. But he was one of the presidents. This is the work project of the tables that we want to put in to their school so they could actually eat at a table. They were sitting on the floor in that court. That's where they were eating their lunches. There was no place to sit anywhere to eat. In fact, we found that out at the junior high school and the kindergarten school. That's another major problem, is they have no shelter from the sun when they eat. They have to kind of squish up beside the building where there's a bit of shade. And I think there was enough money left over to maybe do one more table, and they're going to try and do a couple more tables at the other schools. We'll see about next time what we can do to help them get more tables. But this is the finished work. So they're double-sided, so kids can sit on each side. Like it made a huge difference for this school, just a night and day difference. Then we fixed all the plumbing in there because they also had running water problems. Couldn't afford to get a plumber in to fix all that up. So now all that's working, and that's the tank. So it doesn't look like much, but it's repaired, which is a big project for them. Thanks again. Yep. And then do you remember these nets? These are the soccer goals, just 2 poles. Here's what it looks like now. They added a brace there, they put that in, and brand new nets. And those nets will last a long time. So you know how much of a difference that makes for kids, and they have something to be proud of, and they feel good about playing, and they need a lot of activity. Plus, we gave them a whole ton of balls for the school. That's just sitting and talking. Plus, Gerardo bought medicine, so I sent money to Gerardo, and we bought medicine for the village. It's being supervised by his niece for simple things that they have to go to Santiago for. Now some of the stuff's right there in the village for simple things like Tylenol or antibacterial infection medicine, antibiotics that they can't afford. They just endure with sick stomachs. That's the number one problem in the village, sick stomachs from the water. It's a constant issue. So that was really cool to be able to help them with that. Then we came back to the hotel and we had to bag up all the stuff we got. So we got notebooks for each kid. So each bag got a pencil and a pen, a sharpener, an eraser, and a notebook, and I don't know what candy, the little toys, the Marvel ones they were giving away at Foodland or whatever. Remember those? But those were all given away. And this is us starting to pack them up. We got glue guns for the teachers. Markers, sticky notes, those are those Marvel things. Stickers for the teachers to give the kids, you name it. Paper, colored paper for arts and crafts, and tape. Like, it's stuff we take for granted. The teachers don't have it. They have very little stuff there. So it was really fun to be able to pull all these out, and then I believe this is the video, a time lapse of us putting it all together. There's Melissa looking at the camera. Simon just stares at the camera. round 2, that was fun. We forgot we had to put something else in, so we had to come around and take all the bags and put more in. Boom. See, it was yeah, it was work. Almost done. There we go. That was fun. Then we went back to the village and we did a service for them. We invited the teachers, ended up staying at the school. And by the way, we were allowed to use the school. We had to sign special papers to get permission. They don't allow this in Mexico for a church service or any God talk at a school, public school. We got permission. The principal said yes. And so that was cool. The parents stayed. More parents showed up afterwards. I didn't get a whole ton of pictures because it'll take too long. But the kids sat around. We had our thing over here, and we had a speaker set up. The guy who was supposed to give us the sound system was working out in the field. He forgot. So, I forgot. Okay, thanks. So we didn't have a sound system except for the ones from the school. So we were under the tree, and that's where we did our talk from, our devotions. Simon came out and did his juggling out in the open. The painters were still spraying the paint while we were doing our thing. Eventually we got them to stop, but they were still working. They were working like crazy trying to get everything ready for us. They cleaned up huge piles of messes that were just left because they wanted to impress, which is still good for them to clean it up anyway. So it was really a good mutual experience. So this is where Melissa's doing a kids song with them, and they got into the actions, and she really was amazing with these kids. A phenomenal time, and everybody's trying to do the touch your head toe thing and all that stuff. It was fun. They all got into it. The teachers were smiling. They were enjoying it. They had videos. They were impacted by this. I think this is still a song? Yeah, because they're standing. That's right. And then, of course, the knives. For all the people that gave me grief, you're not going to get those through security, man. Like, I got so much grief from so many people, including relatives, you can't bring knives into Mexico. They're not real. And so anyway, it was fun. We had a note on it. No problem. It went through x-rays. We got a note in the suitcase saying this was inspected. Chill, people, okay? Anyway, but it was a highlight to have that. Simon did a really good job. And by the way, the sun was in his eyes, so it was really hard for him. He didn't think of that until last second. And then, do you remember he did his eye closing thing? Watch me jug with my eyes closed? He had his sunglasses on. So then he had to take them off, and it was really funny. He really hammed it up. The kids loved that. And then, of course, we gave away the bags to the kids. We ended up not having quite enough bags. We had to really, how are we going to give this away? But all the students came through, and then there were more kids that started to come in the village, and I had to stop them from coming back into the school. And some had to try and physically stop, said no. And finally the principal came, and she had the authority to kick them out and go around because they kept the gates locked so nobody could come back in and get double dipped, That's hey, they tried. They really, really tried. A for effort. And these are pictures of the teachers. We gave them maple syrup from Canada. Man, they thought that was amazing. And we gave them about 10 soccer balls, basketballs, and volleyball, all that kind of stuff. So that was a really neat connection. This is the principal here. She's in charge of the school. And then, of course, they found my camera. Never leave your camera sitting around. I gave it to you, but I didn't. Okay, anyway. And then group shot with the kids. They loved the photos. That was a lot of fun. And then that evening, as we were about to leave, sun's going down. This was really cool. That's just the neighborhood, what it looks like. Somebody made a new friend. Yeah. 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 All right. All right. Okay. Can I say it? That's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. He lost it. He just, So she got out, gave him a big hug, gave him a kiss on the cheek. Yep, it was so sweet. That's Gerardo's nephew. He's got a lot of nephews and nieces, but that's Anita's son, the woman who's taking care of all of our stuff. You remember Anita? She's the one who's facilitating the money, making sure everything's going to be fine with the projects that we've got going on. So anyway, special. This picture is the only place in town where a guy has a water system that he sells water to the villagers. It's not properly filtered. There's a problem. But he makes a killing. He makes a lot of money doing this. Gerardo and I are going to discuss what can we do to create something for the village so it helps the village. The money goes back to the village, not one guy making a killing. So I'm going to talk to Enviro stewards and see if they can give me some advice. Those are the group in Elmira. Andrew Lane Smith was working with them a long time ago. But water is a major thing, and I want to start thinking through how can we help them become self-sufficient and healthier. Because it's the water, drinking water is the problem that's creating so much sickness in that village. So that, just an outside picture of what they have, and it's okay, but it's definitely not what needs to be. And yet people rely on this. I don't get it. Okay, day 6. This is fun day. Now it's fun day. Because after all that, now we spent a day doing an awful lot of stuff. This one day was exhausting. The first morning we went up this massive hill, up to the top, and met Jesus. Yep. So it was cool. There's all 4 of them. There's about 5 of us that went up there. And then Sarah had to give Jesus a hug. Just, there you go, hugging Jesus. Yep, just had to show that off. This is the picture from the statue behind the village of Santiago. It's a stunning picture. It's gorgeous. The water in the river was flat, still, it was just beautiful. Then we stopped at this crocodile place. Yep, crocodile place. And we got into a boat and went on a river ride. This was one of my highlights for fun. You guys can chirp in anytime. This was one of my favorite things of just, wow, didn't see how, it was like 15-minute boat ride. Who would have expected that? And it was cheap, $13 for this whole thing to go on a 15-minute boat ride one way. We saw live crocodiles resting in the sun. We saw a great big one in the bushes. In fact, as we came closer, it started to do a turnaround. I think I might have a picture of it. We'll see. And the lady behind us, okay, you can leave now. You can leave now. She said it in Spanish, but it was really funny. And then there was these hanging trees. It was a really weird kind of tree, and we walked through. It was like this covered river. Absolutely stunning. And then, of course, they're having fun in the boat. There's the big one. That's his tail. Okay, and he's about to, that was the biggest one we saw that was not caged. Yeah, there was a bunch. And we saw a bunch of turtles sitting out and sun tanning. That's a pretty big croc. See, we're all there. Yeah, smile. He had to peek up his head. It was awesome. And of course, best part, Sarah was walking past one. I'm going to show you the crocodile in a minute, the one that scared the daylights out of her. This thing leapt, see that pool here? Okay, that's a steel thing. It leapt up right at the gate. And we're talking full on, and the splash factor. She screamed. It was awesome. And then the other boats heard the scream, and it was actually Canadians on the boat. And I got to tell them what happened. Oh, we heard the scream. We wonder what that was. But this sucker scared her. And I got to see it. It was so much fun. She's fine. See? She's fine. So I taunted it. And I said, what did you show you? It was nothing. It's just the head comes out. But this is what he did. There he is in the pool. I wish I had my camera angled down more. So I'm just walking past slowly. I see his eyes, and then he does this. Got it. Anyway, that's it. And of course, on the way back, having fun. That was a lot faster coming back, especially when we encountered another boat coming the opposite direction around a corner. Whew. Wow. And then we saw this, a fire on the side of a mountain. This is pretty cool. This is us.
I'm going to have to turn the air conditioning down because I don't want all this stuff coming.
It's pretty freaky and not as black as I thought it was going to be, but the flames you're going to see in a second are pretty freaky. And this truck kept coming over because he didn't want to drive close to the flames, and watch the flames on the right. Like right there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of grass fires. Yeah. There was a lot of grass fires. Then we finally stopped at the beach. This was a paradise of just, wow. We were there for about 45 minutes. Enrique was the only one who jumped in. Sarah and Simon ended up going for a walk. They call it frolicking in the la-di-da. Yeah, anyway. It was fun. It was, absolutely. There's Sarah enjoying first time in the ocean ever. So that was really cool. Yeah. And then Simon doing his pose. And then, of course, that's a pose, but there's a lady selling pineapples, and they borrowed a pineapple for a picture. Didn't even buy one, but anyway. Just stole the pineapple, yeah. Anyway, and then we end up going to Live Mariachi. They got these weird drinks. So I got a picture of them taking a picture of their drinks. Like, that's all the time. Got to have that. It was really funny. Apparently, was this stuff good, guys? Yes. It was really good. What was in it? Anybody remember?
Fruit.
Okay. Yeah, you're orange, yeah. So you had to actually squeeze it by hand and get it all out and let it soak in. It was a very, very tasty drink in a bowl. It was weird. And then, of course, Live Mariachi. This was really cool to see, and I've seen it a number of times, so it was really fun to see them experience it. And then this next scene is these guys dancing, but they do something with knives. You better be good at it because it's a little bit too close for comfort. I think juggling's fun. Try that. And then, of course, that was a fun mariachi picture. Coming home, yep, time to come home. It was fun on the airplane. And then, of course, seriously, cold again. And Puerto Ricans also coming home. And that was it. So that, if we could have the lights all on, that'd be great. This was our trip. Any questions from anybody just before we wrap up? Do you guys have anything else to add? Was it good? It was good. Cool. All right. Thank you. You guys can have a seat. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to add something. It's about Mike. He took such great care of us all. And even before you were thirsty, he was like, drink water. Before you were hungry, he was like, eat that. And hand gel all the time. So it's like, just, yeah, it's funny to say, but yeah, it really helped a lot. Lots of medicines. He drugged us a lot. Like, take this medicine before we drive and take that.
Yeah, but it helped.
Yes, of course. It helped a lot. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you, Lori, as well, for everything. And yeah, just say thank you from all of us.
Cool. Thank you. It was an awesome time. All right, you guys can have a seat. All righty. We are going to...